There's like 20 of them. Oh my god, what a kill streak. Worth it. Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with some more Enlisted news. Today they actually slapped us with a brand new update that is exclusive to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S if you guys so happen to have one of those. This update actually focuses on awarding points to engineers for building useful objects, more improvements to the artificial intelligence, artillery strike balancing, and much, much more that is actually based on community feedback. So, before I get into it, I want to ask you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games like I do. It really helps me out as a small YouTuber and it helps spread the video around. And if you guys do support me, it'll make sure you actually get teammates that play the objective because we all know how rare that is. Anywho's, let's get into it. So the first thing you guys should know is that a conquest version of the Moscow forestry map has been added to the game, and that's great news for anybody who is a fan of the Moscow campaign. And considering how big the maps are in this game, I actually like when they try different game modes, to highlight different areas of the map because they're very huge and they're very beautiful and well put together. So that's very nice. As far as the AI improvements go, this one has been like a long time coming, and I know you guys are going to be pretty happy to hear this one. But AI can no longer see through flamethrower flames, or I guess pun intended, they can't see through the flamethrower flames. I don't know why they were able to do that in the first place, but who knows? Bright side, they won't be able to like auto snap aim you when you're like spraying the whole room with fire, because that doesn't make any sense. So happy to see that one. But we also have some improved obstacle handling and grenade throwing. So in case you guys didn't know before, when you would order your AI to attack an armored target, they would just hold their explosive pack or whatever for like the whole time until it's about to blow up in their hand. And as soon as it is about to blow up in their hand, they will turn away from the tank or whatever and just throw it and then basically blow themselves up and kill themselves. So yeah, and apparently, they actually will throw their explosive at said enemy tank, and they can now, throw their explosive while they are, cooking their grenade to avoid blowing themselves up. So that's also very good as well. They also touched up on the AI soldier navigation in terms of them not being able to slide over walls quickly when they're mantling. So I guess sometimes that would make them hard to shoot. I'm sure you guys have seen that if you've been playing this game for a minute. And yeah, also finding they're better at finding their way through fences. So when you're like running through fences and gaps and little stuff, they'll be able to follow you more efficiently. And very small and minute detail, but in terms of the Berlin campaign, like when you're fighting in the opera hall, they will be able to jump through the window easier. So that's cool as well. Another small little update for the Browning 1918A2 for those who have it. Unfortunately, I do not because it is a pretty high unlock. But they have now added a secondary firing mode, which is basically a lower rate of fire, but also still fully automatic, which is basically good for like ammo conservation and engaging enemies at further range. Which is crazy how I knew that, but that's only because they had the bar in Battlefield 5. So I'm already knowing about the secondary firing mode or whatever. So feel free to use that if you guys do have the bar. It will also make it, well, it's still a good gun either way, but use it. They also tuned up some of the existing missions and game modes as well. For example, they rearranged the Williamstrasse map on Invasion for the Berlin campaign. Apparently, people were spamming barbed wire in that campaign because they reduced the amounts that were available. And yeah, I guess I'm all for it. I didn't really run into that when I was playing, but if you guys have, I'm sure you guys would be happy for that change. They also made more objects destructible on the Moscow Forestry Invasion map as well for the Moscow campaign. And they also made some changes to how you receive experience, especially when it comes to playing engineer. You will now actually get rewarded for building any object, and that will be displayed at the end of the game. In the debriefing where you get all your XP and stuff. You will also additionally get XP for building any useful object that is also used by your team or allies, I guess you could say. So, for example, let's say you make a cannon and a teammate uses it to destroy a vehicle, you will get the assist for that. If you make some barbed wire and it damages the enemies, you will also get experience for that. And if you make an ammo box, and oh, this is the killer right here. So finally, if you make an ammo box, which is one of the most useful things you could do in the game, you will finally get recognition and experience for that. And like, I just talked about this in my last video, so you're happy to see it. You love to see it. They're finally incentivizing people to use the engineers to their fullest potential, which is one of the main things that I have been clamoring for as this game has been out for a minute. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to see it. So yeah, get out there, use that engineer, build some stuff, help your team, and do what you got to do. Another thing that I talked about in my last couple of videos that has been addressed again in this update is the interface in the quick chat. You can now finally use your chat wheel inside vehicles, which I'm not sure why it was set to where you couldn't do it before, but we can do it now. And I was advocating for this change because as a tanker, or a pilot, it's kind of infuriating to, see like a command where you can ask your teammates for like enemy coordinates, but like not be able to use that when you're actually behind the wheel and you actually need those coordinates to make yourself a more effective pilot or a more effective tanker. So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird to me. But yeah, they also added icons to show enemies killed by actual players, so that's good. They also improved the friendly identifying markers in the sense that when you're like within a certain range, you usually wouldn't see the blue X pop up when you aimed at a teammate. But now they have that to even when you are in close range. So let's say you're like storming a building, or if you're just in any type of close range engagement, you won't be you know blindly shooting at teammates that you shouldn't have. And I'm kind of, I guess, it's not a big deal, but I guess I can see the conflict in that because in a sense you want to have it super immersive and you don't want to just be like doing the telltale signs like, oh, this is the enemy, oh, this is the friend. That takes away from the immersiveness. But in a more casual, like field, I could see why you would want that because people be getting confused and it kind of like breaks the chances of success for your casual player, and they're trying to make it a more casual, appealing game while keeping it that realistic feel. So I understand where they're coming from with that change. You will now also see hints when you are actually out of grenades. And I feel like the next one, I feel like they should have put this in the progression section, but they also added new options for their premium account. So for those of you who like to level up faster, I actually buy this as well. It's like $10 a month, but apparently they now have more options aside from the $10 a month one. So if you guys, looking to level up faster, unlock more stuff, feel free to look into that. I will not, say you need to, but it does, make it a lot easier to level up. So do what you got to do with that. The rest of the bullet points in this section are pretty minuscule, but really good quality of life changes. I would encourage you to just go back and pause the video if you want to, read through all of them. Moving on to gameplay changes, they temporarily lowered the length of all weapons due to a weapon pull-up bug that makes players leave the aiming mode when they don't mean for it to, and they said that this will be fixed in another update that is coming up soon. And speaking of the command wheel, right, like how we was just talking about that, you're really gonna like this one. So your player icon will now blink when you use the follow me command, so other players will know exactly who to follow when you're like on a really good flank or something like that, and you want other people to come on that same flank with you. You will be blinking and lit up to the rest of the people on your team, which I mean, I guess that's cool because you can't see anybody's name, so you don't necessarily know who to follow when somebody's saying follow me. So it was kind of pointless before, but now it actually has some validity and can be useful. Now running with the hammer or the knife will be the same speed. So if you're an engineer and you want to, get a speed boost, just pull out your hammer. You will get the same speed boost you would with a knife. But I guess that applies for any character. When you're in the process of healing, moving will no longer break that process. It will only pause you for the duration of time you are actually moving. So now basically if you need to crawl around a corner to get to a safe spot to heal, you can do that, and you won't have to start your healing process all the way over from 10 seconds or whatever it is, because that was actually pretty annoying when you was like 1 or 2 seconds off from getting back up but have to move. So you know how that is. Fuel tank explosions will no longer automatically destroy armored vehicles. So, if somebody hits you in the fuel tank, you actually will have some time to dip out of your vehicle, I guess, before it blows up. So, gives you a chance to stay alive longer. The damage that fire can do to tanks overall has been nerfed and will spread across the tank at a slower pace. So basically, flamethrowers or Molotovs on tanks are not as effective as they were before. Rally points are no longer accessible if there is a fight nearby, which I think is a good change considering that they took the spawn protection away from the rally points, because in one sense nobody wants to spawn into instantly getting deleted the same way nobody wants to be shooting at God mode soldiers just because they spawn. So it's like, meeting a nice little middle ground. I see where they're going for with that one. I'm not against it at all. Um, and for those of you who like to use the radio operator squad, and for those of you who feel like artillery is too frequent in this game, that has now been nerfed as well, from being able to call in artillery every 30 seconds to now they have added 12 seconds. So now you got to wait 48 seconds per cycle to call in some more artillery, which, I mean, I don't think it's that bad, and I didn't even think the artillery was that bad before. You just gotta know how to avoid it and how to when and where to use it, and pay attention to your map, and you should be fine. But I guess it's not for everybody. We also have some sound changes and a plethora of other fixes that I will probably just pick out a few highlights. But yeah, they decided to add the Doppler effect into the game, which basically means that the further you are away from a source of sound, um, the less time it's going to take for you to actually register that sound and hear it. So let's say a bomb went off on the other side of the map, you would hear that like a few seconds later than somebody who was actually right next to it, which is realistic. I don't got nothing bad to say about it. And yeah, that love it or hate it, they basically, this is another change that I don't know. Some of you might be like, yeah, it's gonna take away from the immersiveness. Some of you might be happy, like, yo, they was yelling too much anyways. But they made it so soldiers generally exclaim less when you're running around. So no more yoo-hoos and hee-hees and ha-has. They're from the Germans, unfortunately. So I don't know, to love it or hate it. I don't know how you guys will feel about that one. Let me know down in the comments or something like that. The biggest changes in the fixes section was probably the fact that they fixed the splinter damage for the tank heavy explosive shells against infantry, which in a nutshell basically increases the damage of 20 to 45 millimeter shells, and it ups their blast radius by 30%. So all that means is that when you're using HE shells in a tank, they're going to be way better against infantry. Because if you guys have been using tanks recently, and you ever like shot at infantry and it looked like it didn't do anything, it was probably this bug right here that just got fixed. So you love to see it. Basically, tanks are going to be even more OP than they were now. Well, provided you were actually good at using them. I would definitely take the time to get used to them now, ever since they got this buff. And yeah. Yo, so this next one right here is about to be so convenient for y'all to hear. Okay. So, empty magazines will now actually be or partially empty magazines will actually now be refilled at supply crates. So you don't have to, let's say you had a clip with like 3 bullets in it, you actually don't have to empty that out now to refill your ammo all the way. So yeah, if you see an ammo box, just run up to it, press square. You don't got to be like over there, oh, I gotta empty out these last couple of bullets. So that's really convenient. I'm very happy to see that one. I'm sure you guys are happy to hear that one as well. What else they got? The elements of clothing like collars and hats will no longer block your view. Gun barrels will no longer sink into the walls, so you won't be able to see people through walls. Oh, this one is also a killer. So if anybody has been playing this game for a while, you will know that when bombers do their little bombing runs and they fly by and the bombs actually hit the ground, for some odd reason, I don't know, this is just on console or whatever, the game will actually like freeze for a second or chug, and it'll be like, it seems like it's lagging. And that was the only time this game ever felt like it was lagging, because other than that, I have never lagged playing this game. So I guess that was apparently just a bug. They have now fixed it. When planes fly by and drop their bombs and get 20 kills in like 0.1 seconds, it will no longer chug your game and make it seem like it's about to freeze or whatever. So pretty much that's it as far as the update goes. I want to ask you guys, what changes, implementations, and fixes were you guys most happy or sad to hear about? Let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to drop that like and hit that subscribe button if you like shooting games, or if you want better teammates, or if you just want to support me because you're a cool guy. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Black guy out. In the snow, boy. Yeah. Hold on. I'm about to nothing. Ah, boy. Get your aim on, boy. You should. They can't see me. Huh, huh, you know. What? Boy, get up. Yeah, they got me. Oh, I'm still alive. Hold on. Boy, I'll fight all of y'all right now. 233, 57.